Hello, my name is Amanda and welcome to the tutorial for block number 5 in my half square triangle sampler quilt along series. So the fifth block that we will be making is this gorgeous little beauty. It is called the Shoo-fly block and it is such a simple and easy block to piece together, just like the last two that we've done in the series, and I guarantee that you'll have this one sewn up and pieced together in no time. Now with my block, because I used a fabric that had a print that was sort of one direction and it also had these sort of big medallion type prints in it, I chose to fussy cut the center square for this block just to sort of make it look a little bit cool, make it a little bit more uniform, and I really love the effect that it's given. So for this block, if you're using a fabric that has quite big sort of design sort of focal points in it, then by all means fussy cut them out and pop them in the center just to sort of make the block a little bit more fun and a little bit more effective in the way that it looks at the end. So as usual, for this block you will find all of the measurement and cutting instructions down in the description box below. You'll also find the link to the pattern sheet, which will have a nice layout of the block as well as all of the info of the fabrics, as well as some fun historic and background info about the block. Okay, so let's get into it. This is how you make the Shoo-fly block. For block number 5, I'm using just two fabrics, the Blue Skies Solid for the background and the Mosaic print for the half square triangles and block center. So to make the Shoo-fly block, you will need to cut 4 4.5 inch squares from your background fabric and 1 4.5 inch square from the print, then 2 5-inch squares from both fabrics. Just like with our other blocks, start by first making the half square triangles. Do this by marking a line along the back of each of the 5-inch background squares, and then pinning each one with a 5-inch print square, right sides together. Take the squares to the machine and sew a 1/4 inch seam to the left of the line on each. Then turn them around and sew another 1/4 inch seam along the other side. Snip the joining threads and then cut each square in half along the pencil line, resulting in 4 half square triangle units. Using a medium to hot steamy iron, gently press each unit open, making sure to press the seams towards the darker side of fabric. Then using a set square ruler, square up each half square triangle unit to a perfect 4.5 inch measurement. Next, take your half square triangles and 4.5 inch squares cut earlier and lay them out into this simple Shoo-fly design. Start by piecing the block together with the first row by flipping the center square onto the half square triangle unit to the left. Line up the edges evenly, pin the squares into place, and then sew a 1/4 inch seam along this side. Gently press the seam towards the center background square, and then place the squares back into their correct position. Flip over the last half square triangle unit in the row, line up the edges, and pin it into place. Sew another 1/4 inch seam along this side, and then press the seam inwards towards the center background square. Place the top row back into place, and then from here, repeat the same set of steps to piece together the other 2 rows in the block, making sure to press all of the seams towards the background fabric squares. Once all 3 rows have been pieced together, flip the top row over onto the middle one and carefully nest the center seams with one another. Each seam should lie flat right up against each other and feel smooth to the touch. Patiently pin the edge into place and sew a 1/4 inch seam along it, ensuring that each of the nested seams are lying flat before sewing over them. Next, press the seams inwards towards the middle row. Then flip the last row in the block over in the right order and nest the center seams again. Pin the edge securely into place and then sew one last 1/4 inch seam along this side. Again, making sure all seams are lying flat as you sew over them. Gently press the seam once more towards the middle row of the block before giving the top of the block one last final press. Finally, using a set square ruler, square up the block to a perfect 12.5-inch square. So without sounding like a broken down record again, please keep sharing your blocks with me. I absolutely love seeing what you guys are up to and how well all of you are going with your points. All of you are growing so much in your skills in making houseware triangles, and I'm just also proud of you, and you're doing such a wonderful, wonderful job. So you can look forward to block number 6 coming out on Friday. This one is a little bit of a tricky one. Even I found it a little bit tricky to piece together, so hopefully that doesn't scare you off. So until then, thank you all so much for watching, and hope to see you another time very, very soon. Bye! The block that we will be making in this video is this gorgeous little beauty. This is called the Friendship Star. So apart from the layout, this block is pretty much pieced together in exactly the same way as our last one, which was the Contrary Wife block. This block is pieced together as a 9-patch block.